Welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're going to be talking about microclimates and how they can help you in your garden. Here at Plant Fanatics, our mission is simple: educate, propagate, and cultivate. And if you want to support us in this mission, you can do that by going to theamericanfigcompany.com and purchasing some awesome fruit trees from us. Also, just simply subscribing to the channel and leaving a like or sharing our videos is greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's get into this. First of all, let's discuss what a microclimate is. Simply put, it's a small area of weather that's different than the weather in the area around you. For instance, I live in plant hardiness zone 6, but maybe up against a wall, I could get the temperatures to be considered zone 7 temperatures, which greatly affects the trees that I can plant in a specific area. Now I want to show you some specific examples on my property. We're in my food forest right now, which is a 20-foot by 60-foot rectangle where I've planted a bunch of fruit trees and a bunch of different fruiting vines and plants. Well, on this side, we've planted these trees right next to my house. Now, this is a west-facing wall, and this is really going to heat up. And then on this side, we've planted all of my fruit trees next to an east-facing wall. So really right in the morning, this area is going to be getting that sunlight. But what I've done is by planting the trees here, it's kind of become this little pocket of heat. So this area is going to stay slightly warmer than the area around it. Now, of course, all of this could be enhanced by planting on a southern exposure. That would be the greatest microclimate that you could come up with. So if you have something that you're concerned about surviving because it's not really right for your zone, if you could get a southern exposure, that's going to be the warmest area. And also, instead of having like a wood fence, if you had a brick or rock fence, that's going to really radiate the heat out. So every microclimate is going to be a little bit different, but in this area where my food forest is, it's definitely a little bit warmer here just because we're in this little pocket than it would be if I planted out in an open field. So the chances of fruit trees that are a little less cold tolerant surviving here is greater. Now, it doesn't always have to be walls or fences. It could be something more natural like these woods that we have all around us, surrounding us completely. This is going to block wind and significantly increase heat in the area. So having things for wind blocks and being up against bricks or walls is going to be a huge deal when it comes to a microclimate. When talking about microclimates, we're also not always talking about a physical object, but we could be talking about elevations. So in my area, we call a low-lying area a holler. If you guys don't know what a holler is, it's just a low-lying area. So if you're in a hilly area, heat rises while the cool air sinks. So you don't want to plant in the lowest point of your property. You would probably want to plant in the highest point. And the temperature difference can be pretty significant, enough to be the difference between the survival of a tree and the death of the tree. Now, we could also be talking about plant density. For instance, if I plant one fruit tree and there's nothing surrounding us, then that fruit tree is going to take the brunt of all the cool winds or whatever it may be. But if we are planting in a denser area like this food forest here, you can see this is a very dense area. This is going to significantly decrease the cool air that's blowing through, and the plants in some ways kind of protect each other. You could think of it that way. So that's another aspect that we really want to think about. Now, microclimates can actually be enhanced with things like mulch. So if we look down here, you can see we have a mixture of leaves and wood chips on the ground here. This is going to greatly enhance the warmth that's being radiated out. Things like concrete, rocks on the ground are going to greatly enhance warmth. So when you find the perfect microclimate, you can actually still increase the temperature even more by the products that you decide to finish your plants with, whether that be wood mulch. You could use things like gravel, pea gravel. Those things are really going to hold on to heat well. So there's a lot of things that you can do to enhance a microclimate once you find it in your garden. And like I said, southern exposures are always going to be the warmest areas. And then choosing materials wisely is a massive deal, and it can't be overlooked. And this is all going to kind of come down to the natural area where you are, and then the products that you can afford to buy for your garden. Now, you probably don't want to get super crazy as far as microclimates are concerned, so don't get a tree that's for zone 9 and you live in zone 6. You probably can't get the microclimate that good unless you want the microclimate of, like, a greenhouse. Outside of that, you can certainly increase the temperature up to 10 to 20 degrees. That's completely doable if you play all your cards right. So If you guys have any questions about this, leave it in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And thanks so much for watching, guys.